Welcome to this episode of Your Destiny Today with your host, Anthony Turner. Join us as we explore life and purpose from a kingdom perspective through biblical teaching, inspirational messages, and informative discussions with special guests. Our goal is to equip and mobilize you to walk in the fullness of your destiny today.
Well, hello everybody. Welcome to this episode of Your Destiny Today. I am your host, Anthony Turner, and we are just so thrilled to have you with us today. We are actually so excited to bring this podcast to you today because we have a very, very special guest. Before I introduce our guest, I just want to kind of make sure that each of you know that if you are listening to this podcast on whatever platform you're listening to it, we're just going to invite you to hit that subscribe button. We're on all of the major platforms: Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Spotify, Amazon Music. So you can find us anywhere. And so just hit that subscribe button. That way you'll get notifications every time we are on live or we are bringing a new program to you. And today, like I said, we have a very special guest. I am very, very fortunate and very blessed to introduce to you someone who's very near and dear to me. But before I do that, I'm just going to explain why we're having this podcast. Many of you know that, of course, I am the president of Destiny Ministries International. And I have, over the course of the last several years, been privileged to travel all over the world, and I average about 230 to 240 days a year traveling. But I also have several other mandates and several other things that the Lord has spoken to me to launch. And one of those is a ministry school that we actually launched last year called Destiny Equipping School. Well, in fact, we actually launched it as almost like a trial run in 2023 in South Carolina with my good friend Catherine Wade of Aiken, South Carolina. And we started it doing 12 months, one class a month live there in Aiken. And during that time, I used that to teach on the book that I'm nearly finished writing and just about to publish, entitled Reestablishing Righteous Altars. Well, in the next year, we've moved our school to the location where it currently is, and that's in Odessa, Texas. Some of you know from previous podcasts that we've done some live podcasts with Dr. April Ferris and Dr. Don Hughes, Dr. Patty Amsden, and we've done those from the studios here. Studio A is our large studio where we actually have our school, and we are currently in Studio 2B. And so one of the things that we've been doing, and I haven't really mentioned, especially on the podcast, our school, because we are just wanting to make sure that we kind of work out all of the kinks and bugs, but we are growing. We both are online and we are live in classroom. And what we've been doing every month, we have a special guest instructor. Some of you, if you are part of our Facebook community, you've seen on our DMI Facebook page or either my personal Facebook page, you've seen that programming or file that we upload to let you know who our next instructor is going to be. Actually, we generally have our school the second weekend of each month. Next month, it'll be April, I think, 11th and 12th. Again, we will be here, and I will have the privilege next month of being the instructor. But we do have some more instructors that I'll be letting you know about coming in in the coming months. Actually, I will mention that in May, our instructor will be my wonderful friend Becky Albert. So she'll be joining us, and she'll be teaching. It's an 8-hour course. I'll tell you a little bit more after, as at the end of our podcast today. But the whole purpose for this is to let you know that we are growing. Our online presence is growing. We have approximately 15 or sometimes more students in class here. And because of the growth and because of us thinking that we're pretty much ready now to begin to bring more and more students in, I wanted to make you aware that we have a new member of our team. And so we're going to get to introduce her to you today and let you know what her role will be with Destiny Equipping School Masterclass. But above and beyond that, she is just a phenomenal young woman, and I am so proud of who she is and all that she's accomplished, and we'll talk about that a little bit. And so without any further ado, today, please give a warm welcome to our new student communications director for Destiny Equipping School, my amazing young friend. She's like a spiritual daughter to me. She is a spiritual daughter to me. And her name is Haley Keene. And so, Haley, welcome to Your Destiny Today. It's such a privilege and an honor to have you with us.
Well, thank you for having me.
Well, I tell you what, now she's very soft-spoken, but let me tell you, she is passionate, she is brilliant, she is, as you can tell, very beautiful. And so one of the things that we want to do as we introduce you to Haley is we want to also just let you know about her and all of the things that God is doing with and in her. Like I said, she's a passionate believer. She loves God. I'm going to let her talk to you about that. So, and then we're going to ask her a few questions just so that you can get more acquainted with her. So, again, Haley, welcome. And just tell us a little bit about who you are. One thing I will say is she is the daughter of the new Director of Finance for Destiny Ministries International, Jennifer Woodall. Jennifer is also the worship pastor at Full Gospel Covenant Church. And so it's a family affair. We get to have Haley join us too as our new student communications director. So Haley, if you would, I'd like for you just to kind of tell us a little bit about you. There are some exciting things happening for you in the future. There are some things that have already happened, and we'll get into that too. So please just, whatever you want to share with our audience about Haley Keene. Who's Haley Keene, and what do you like to do, and what do you feel like God wants to do with you moving forward?
Well, my name is Haley Keene. As far as what I like to do, I like to write, I like to act, I love to read, and I love to spend time with family and friends. I think that my two most favorite things to do are to act and to read.
Okay.
I have a big passion for the arts and entertainment, and including writing and then acting. I kind of feel the most alive when I'm getting to be on a stage or behind a camera, getting to fulfill a role.
Right.
That's very exciting for me. I love to get to do that kind of stuff.
And so you've actually done some acting and been kind of pursued that a little bit. Tell us a little bit more about that part of your passion and your dream.
Yes, I have pursued some acting, some film, and mostly local theater. But yeah, it's a big passion for me. I did some stuff when I was a little girl, but mostly I got started my senior year of high school.
Okay.
And I got started through Odessa High School's theater production program.
Okay.
And just fell in love with that and did everything I possibly could And then I got involved with the Permian Playhouse, which is now called Basin Theater Works.
Mm-hmm.
And I did a few plays there and was a part of their teen company at the time and learned how to do some theater through them. So
Mhm.
they have been a great place for me to learn how to grow in my acting skills. And then around 4 years ago or so, I spent some time in the Dallas area, did a little bit of independent film there,
Mm-hmm.
got a little bit involved, and then decided to come back home and just grow here. And then that's when I started working more on my writing and delving more into that and going back to school. And
And you're currently in school right now, is that
Yes.
correct? Yeah. And so what are you taking right now in school?
I'm only taking one class. I like to do things slow when it comes to school.
Yeah.
I'm taking a creative writing class right now. It actually just started yesterday.
Okay, perfect. Now so this is like the new semester or the new quarter or whatever it
It's
is.
a new term,
New
8
term.
weeks term.
Yeah, and so you just started the new term yesterday, and so this is a creative writing class. So since you just started yesterday, you may not have an assessment of it just yet, but if you do, did you get an initial impression of the school
I
or the
checked
class?
some of it out. I haven't looked at all of it yet, but it seems pretty exciting. I think the professor wants to not just focus on short stories, but also some nonfiction writing and also some poetry.
Okay.
So I started off with poetry. That was the first things that I ever wrote was poetry and songs.
Yeah.
So I'm excited to kind of explore that a little bit more in a more structured area because I've never taken classes on it before.
Right.
So.
Right. Well, not only that, but she's also very skilled as an artist. She hadn't mentioned that, but she's phenomenal with that. She may think that that's more like a tertiary or another gifting of hers, but she's very gifted as an artist, like she said, acting, and a writer. And now, not just a writer from the standpoint of wanting to write, she is already a published author. And I actually have her book here, which is entitled Far More Than a Book. And can you tell us a little bit about the inspiration of your book, what it's all about, what it consists of, that kind of thing? Just kind of give us some information about Far More Than a Book.
Well, Far More Than a Book was something that just kind of fell into my lap, really. It wasn't anything that I planned out. It wasn't me coming up with a story. It wasn't any of that. It was just one night I was just getting ready for bed and I just felt an inspiration to write. So I went in my journal, not a document, but my journal, and started writing, and I felt like the Lord was just showing me some things about who He is, about my identity, about things that I needed to learn. And it was a journey throughout a few days of just kind of stopping and going and picking back up what He was showing me and just writing it down. And that's what Far More Than a Book is. It's my experiences of what God was revealing to me about either His character or about something that needed to change in me, or just really an experience is what it was for me. It was like an encounter of who God is and things that I needed to see in myself.
So do you, now obviously, like I said, you're published, and so this book is available. Can you let our audience know how they could acquire the book?
Yes, you can acquire the book on Amazon or Barnes & Noble. You can, the print version, and you can also get the ebook on Amazon Kindle, I believe Barnes & Noble. I can't remember all of them. I think Google and Apple too.
Yeah. Well, that's so awesome. Now, you said it was not something that you really planned, but it just kind of formed, and you put pen to paper first in your journal, but now in a book. Why is it that who do you hope will benefit from your book?
Well, it's not really set towards a certain audience. I mean, I think it's for anybody and everybody.
Yeah.
Anybody that has something that resonates with them in some of the different, I guess you could call them scenes. They're not really
Yes.
scenes, but the different chapters in the book.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that there's something for a lot of different people
Yeah.
in there. There's a lot of different experiences and revelations, and I would say maybe females might get a little bit more out of it
Yeah.
because it's from my perspective of
Yeah.
understanding of what I believe God was showing me.
Yeah.
So it might be more a little bit for females, but
Well, I'm going to disagree a little bit because I've read the book. It's a phenomenal book. One of the things, of course, I'm a proud papa, but one of the things that I love most is you get to see how Haley interacts with the Lord, really, and her interaction and relationship with the Lord, and she does it so creatively. It's not a mundane piece of work. It's really from her creative skill. So you get to see that as well. So I encourage you, again, hop on Kindle. Again, the book is entitled Far More Than a Book, and you can find it on the Kindle platform if you're doing a Kindle, or if you want a hard copy of the book, Amazon or Barnes & Noble. You want to get that. And so one of the reasons, again, why I'm so excited to have her on board is because I've had the privilege now of knowing Haley probably about 5 or 6 years. And in our time together, I've gotten to spend some time with her. We've talked, we've interacted. You know me, I love to hear people's vision and what the Lord has called them to do, and she's shared that with me, and I love her creativity. I love the way she just really expresses herself, and so as we began to grow as a school and as a ministry, I knew at some point I wanted to bring her to be a part of our team if possible. And she was gracious enough to consent and say yes. And so I really am excited to have her as our student communications director. But more about you again, because like I said, you've got some other exciting things that happen. Do you want to share any of your other new information with our audience?
I can really only think of one thing. Is that what you're talking
I
about?
am talking about the one thing. It's one thing, but it's a big thing. Yeah.
Yes. Well, I'm getting married in May.
Yes.
And I'm really excited for that.
Yes. So are we. And actually, her future husband, her fiance, is another creative, brilliant young man. And they're getting married in May, and I get to be here for it. I'll be a part and participate in the wedding, and so we're looking forward to that. I remember, what was it, maybe about 2 years ago, we talked about marriage, and I think you may have known of him, but we were praying about that very thing, right? And the Lord just bringing that person that he had for you into your life, and so that's happened. So not only is she an author, she's a bride to be, and so there's just so many wonderful and exciting things that are happening with you, and I honestly am just so thrilled to get to be a part of it. So again, May 31st, I want to make sure you guys know, May 31st, this young lady and her fiance will be entering into that marital covenant. And so I want to let you know, I think that it would be great if our audience knew how to maybe bless you and your future husband. So she's registered at both, I think, Target and Amazon. Mm-hmm. What we'll do is we will put that information on the, we'll put that information is actually on the bottom of the screen now, so that if you want it to be a blessing to Jonathan, his name is Jonathan, and Haley, you can go on to Amazon or on to Target Registry, and you can just say congratulations for all that God is doing with them. So we'll keep you posted with that, because this young lady, you'll be seeing her face quite a bit, especially for those of you who are interested in more information about Destiny Equipping School Masterclass. She's going to be the person that will be communicating all of the information regarding scheduling, events, how to log on, what to do, all of that information. It'll be coming through her. Also, we'll have on the bottom of the screen in just a moment her email address, so that you can reach out for her, to her. So let's just talk briefly about the Equipping School. You also are a student of the school. Can you give us a little bit of your experience? I mean, you've been a part since the inception of the school. What has been your experience with the master class?
Well, I like to take notes. I didn't start off taking... Yes, I did. I did start off taking notes, but this last time I really got into taking notes and listening to something that stuck with me, and then thinking about, oh, well, what does that mean? What do I think about that? I didn't think to ask any questions, but I just kind of gave me a moment to really dig deep into something that was said and think about that.
Yeah.
So I had a lot of fun doing that this last time.
Yeah.
And I enjoy getting to listen to the different speakers, and I like that there's a variety.
Yeah.
And that there are different flavors and of ministries, but still united, still with the same common belief. But there's different aspects of ministry that we get to learn about. So I've enjoyed that.
Well, actually, one of the things that the Father really spoke to me when we launched the school is I knew that I wasn't going to be the lone voice. I've been very fortunate and blessed to have quite a few amazing people that I'm in covenant with, and we've had instructors like Rebecca Greenwood of Christian Harvest International, also the apostolic leader of a Strategic Prayer Apostolic Network. We've had Dr. Don Hughes. We've had Dr. Patty Amsden. We've had Dr. April Ferris. We've had my good friend and brother, prophet of God, Ed Watts. And we've got many, many more. Like I said, next month it'll be me, and then in the month of May, Becky Albert. And one of the things that I feel that the Lord has really spoken to me to do regarding this school is to, I'm very fortunate. I get to travel, like I said, around the country, around the world, but in particular in our country, I get to connect with some incredible people like Haley, who already has a busy schedule and a busy life, and now is about to get even busier in the context that she's about to enter into a marital covenant with Jonathan, and so the two will be becoming one. But I also realize not everybody has been called to go to a Bible college. Not everybody's been called to go to seminary, but they do want to be equipped. And for me, it's all about equipping. Our whole ministry is about equipping, and equipping in a practical way, in an applicable way, not just giving information. I like to say giving impartation. So taking something that these prolific speakers and instructors that we have, they've done, all of them, and every person that we have, they've done some tremendous things already in the kingdom. And so our settings are very intimate here. But we also have live stream online. We've had people who may not have chosen to become a student, but they want to, maybe do an a la carte type of learning, and so they will choose to register for one of the classes. And so what this young lady will be doing is she will be our liaison, our communication liaison between the students, between the faculty, the instructors, guest instructors, like I said, and she'll be coordinating all of that. And she is also, I also wanted to bring her on board because of her creativity. She's already got some phenomenal ideas. So we're still building out the infrastructure of platforms of communication and some of the other things that we'll be doing. Like I said, it's not only here in person school, but it's a live online. All of the classes are also being archived so that you'll have access to go back and listen more than once. You can go on our website, destinymi.com, and you'll see where it says Destiny Equipping School, and it'll give you more information there. But like I said, you can also reach out to Haley. Give her a little time and a little space because she is just stepping into this, but you'll be able to reach out to her and she'll be able to give you a little bit more information. Her email address is haley@destinymi.com. And kind of tell us, I know we talked a little bit about yesterday when we met, or day before yesterday, we talked a little bit about some of the things that you'd like to incorporate with communicating with the students. And is there anything you want to share as we kind of get ready to wrap our time together? Is there anything you want to share about what you foresee your role being moving forward?
Like my role or the creative ideas?
Both.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah, I want to be a place for people to reach out to if they have questions, and I want to be able to inform the students on the school and upcoming events, and maybe have some interviews with some of the instructors.
Yeah.
And then as far as creatively, I've had a few ideas that I think are kind of exciting that I'd like to try. I mean, I've never done them before, so I don't know how they'd work out, but like maybe having a little devotional that relates to one of the classes or a few of the classes, and having an interview with the instructors and seeing like what are your main points or takeaways from this lesson.
Yeah.
And then listening to the lesson and taking those main points and writing a little summary about them.
Yeah.
And then having a place for question. Well, I would write the question, but
Yeah.
having a question and a place for people to like journal and reflect on the class. So it would be like not a published book, but a small little printable packet that you can print out.
Awesome.
And just reflect on the class and dig a little deeper into what you just learned.
Yeah, that is so awesome. Well, I'm excited about that because, of course, the idea of having her, like I said, be the communications person, not only with the students but also with some of our instructors, and being able to interact with them and then present that, because many times when we have the school and we have the live stream, people listen to the teaching and listen to the instructor, but to also have the privilege and have the opportunity to have the instructor kind of share with Haley what their goal of the whole 6 to 8 hour training and teaching was all about. And for me, like I said, it's not a school for information. It's really for impartation. It's a practical ministry equipping school, hence the name, Destiny Equipping School. So we are just over the moon excited. I am so thrilled to have Haley as a part of our team. And so what we want you to do is, again, take down the information. Right now, her email address is scrolling on the bottom of the screen, Haley@destinymi.com. You can reach out to her. And, of course, for more information about enrollment into the school, one of the things that we've talked about, because what we're doing right now is we're building our library, we are not just having people enroll at the very beginning of a semester. What we are doing is we're making our classes available so that at any time during the year that you want to enroll, you'll have access to the classes that you've missed up to this point, and then you can just jump in and learn, catch up right away. And then when we have some of the live classes, you can join those. Now, what we do right now, like I said, we have 6 to 8 hours of intense teaching once a month right now. Friday evening, the second Friday of every month, from 6:30 to 9 Central Time, and then on Saturday we go from 9:30 till about 4, either 3 or 4 o'clock on Saturday. So we know that those days are premium days for a lot of people. That's why we also have it where it's archived, so you can go back. If you can't catch it live, you can go back and look at it at a time that's more favorable for your schedule. And so we are really, really excited about everything that God is doing. We really hope and look forward to the school growing and you growing with the school if this is something that you're interested in. Again, you can find all of that information on the website destinymi.com, and then we'll have some things that you can get from Haley. She'll send those out to you to communicate scheduling and our instructor itinerary or schedule for the next year. All of that will be available too. And so we want to really grow with you. And you know me, if you know me, and if you're listening to this podcast, it's probably because we've done some things together. You've followed me somewhere, and so I am looking forward to everything that the Father has moving forward with Destiny Ministries International, with the school, with Haley, and everything beyond. So I'm probably going to come on again maybe next week, the end of next week, and give a little bit more just general information about the school. Haley's going to do some things to let our viewers and let our students know. Introduce herself to the students and know how she can be contacted and what that all looks like. And so without any belaying of that, we just want you to know what a tremendous joy it is for us to have Haley join our team, what joy it is for us to have you consider being a part of our school. Many of you know that we had kind of put the podcast on pause because of my travel schedule. I'm actually working right now to get that where we are consistently coming to you with the podcast on a weekly basis. So next week I will be doing another podcast. More than likely, there may be 2 next week, because one I want to do with the school, and then there's some that we've already got in the can that we've done with some of our special guests that we want to start to bring to you as well. So, Haley, any final remarks, anything that you want to add to the podcast and tell our audience before we go today?
I'm just excited to get to step into this role and communicate with the students and get creative with some of the stuff. That's exciting for me.
Yes.
And thank you for having me.
Oh, it's such a joy, and we are so thrilled. I'm telling you, I'm over the moon excited to have Haley join us, and it's going to be so much fun. And so we want to invite you to join us in whatever way that looks, whether it's a regular listener of our and viewer of our podcast. If you feel like the equipping school would be a blessing to you, or if you know someone who might be interested in that, again, just on the bottom of the screen we have all of the contact information where we can get you some more information about that. And we are just excited about what God is doing. And keep in touch. One of the things that we'll be doing too is just giving you more information about what we are doing. We are, as a ministry, we've got so many things that are popping up. It's going to be an exciting time. So without any further ado, on behalf of our staff here at Destiny Equipping School, Haley, our new Student Communications Director, all of the people who are part of our school and our ministry, and all of our people who are part of Destiny, Your Destiny Today podcast, we want to thank you again for joining us. We look forward to seeing you again on another podcast. And God bless you. We bless you in all that God has called you to do. And we'll talk to you and we'll see you soon. God bless you.
You have been listening to Your Destiny Today with Anthony Turner. To join us each episode, don't forget to subscribe. You can find us on Apple Podcast, Google Podcast, Amazon Music, iHeartRadio, and Spotify. To find out more information or to invite Anthony to your next conference or event, go to destinymi.com. Thank you.